Why walking is the number one anti-aging exercise, especially after 60. That's something I'm going to talk about today, so stick around. Hi, my name is Sachiaki Takamiya. I am the author of Live Wiser, Not Smarter. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to all of you who have subscribed to my channel. Finally, I have achieved 10,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe. Thank you. 2 videos ago, I shared with you top 5 anti-aging exercise, and I said walking is the number one because it can be combined with daily activities and it is easier than jogging. You can divide the exercise into small chunks and it can be meditation. However, some people say walking isn't vigorous enough, both for the cardio and for the strength training. Is it true? So today, I'd like to go further into detail about walking because the last time I didn't spend enough time on walking because it was covering 5 exercises. So I talked about all 5 exercises. But today, I'm focusing on just walking. And to do that, I am talking about this magazine, the Japanese magazine called Tarzan. They have a special feature on walking this month. And then, so the magazine introduces 7 benefits of walking, which I will share that with you, plus 6 benefits of walking that I think are critical. And then at the end of the video, I share with you my daily walking routes. I have 2 daily walking routes. One is Satoyama walking, where I walk along the rice paddies, and now it's a beautiful time because it's the rice harvesting season. And then Machinami walking, that is a townscape walking. I kind of walk into the central area of our town. So please stay tuned until the end. Thank you. Okay, so first, 7 benefits of walking according to Tarzan. One, walking produces serotonin, which helps your positive mood and it's good for your mental health in general. Actually, all aerobic exercises are good for that. For jogging or cycling can produce serotonin too. But the idea is walking does, so it helps to think positive. And in my opinion, walking is better for that. I told you that I practice Shinyon Kansha meditation during my walking. Shinyon Kansha meditation is feel grateful for what is happening to you. It's like giving gratitude. So you appreciate God for manifesting the reality that you are happy about in the present moment. And I practice that during my Nordic walking, which makes me feel very positive and set the positive mood for the day if I do that in the morning. But it is more difficult to do it during my jogging. So even when I go jogging, to do that, I stop and then switch to walking to practice Shinyon Kansha meditation. And then it is good for the brain. Again, for the brain, for all exercises too. So jogging can be good for your brain too. But personally, I find walking is more effective for the brain than jogging because this is my experience. I have received so many great inspiration during walking, but not during jogging. Partly because when I jog, I have to sort of concentrating on the exercise. My mind is sort of occupied with a kind of hard work. Well, during walking, I can completely drift away and think of something else, and I can even forget the fact that I'm walking. Therefore, it's somehow kind of stimulating to my brain, and I have a kind of rich imagination. It helps stimulate, plot ideas and all kind of things. So as far as I'm concerned, walking is the best exercise to stimulate my brain. And it is good for your gut microbiome. It's supposed to help the gut microbial diversity. Again, this is not just for walking, jogging as well. Most aerobic exercises stimulate your gut microbial diversity. Actually, for the butyrate producing bacteria, this longevity bacteria in your gut, moderate intensity exercise that leaves you slightly breathless is good. I think it's like a zone 2 exercise. So slow jogging or brisk walking, becomes this. And it depending on the person, depending on your fitness level. But for most people, when you when you do brisk walking or slow jogging, you are in this state, and that can produce butyrate producing bacteria, especially if you do 30 minutes to 60 minutes 3 times a week. Now, those of you who are not familiar with butyrate producing bacteria, I've talked about it many times in this channel. I talked about Kyotango longevity cohort research, which is taking place in the region called Kyotango in Japan, because this area has 3 times as many centenarians as the national average. It is a longevity hotspot at the moment. And then in this study, they discovered that butyrate producing bacteria is abundant in the gut of the centenarians there. Since then, this bacteria is called longevity bacteria. In fact, senior citizens in Kyotango walk a lot. Jogging is not so common, walking is more common. And that is the same throughout most places in Japan. All Japanese blue zones, old people walk but not jog. And that is the same in wild blue zones too. I think it is more common for people to walk than jogging, except maybe Loma Linda, California, where they engage in a lot of sport. They might, go jogging and things, but other places, usually people walk, but not jog. And walking is good for your sleep, especially if you go walking in the morning and you have the morning sunlight exposure at the same time. The morning sunlight exposure helps you sleep better at night. And the same thing is true when you do the evening sunlight exposure during the sunset time. So if you go walking in the evening, that is effective as well. And walking can slow down your blood sugar spike, especially after eating. If you take a walk for just even 10 minutes after eating, it helps slowing down your blood sugar spike. It's difficult to do other vigorous exercises right after eating. You cannot go jogging right after eating, but walking is something easy enough for you to do. And walking can help your blood circulation, especially if you are sitting all day long. It's good to get up like every 30 minutes or every 1 hour to walk just a little bit. Just walk to the kitchen, walk to the bathroom, walk to the next room. If you make it a habit, it helps your blood circulation. And some people recommend that you can exercise every 30 minutes. Like you get up your desk and then you do squats 10 times, or you do push-up 10 times. That is fine too. But for most people, it's difficult to do because it's an exercise. But walking is something so simple. All you need to do is just get up and walk to the kitchen to grab your coffee, or walk to the bathroom. I mean, how many of you say when you want to go to the bathroom, but I can't be bothered to walk to the bathroom, or you want to drink coffee, or I can't be bothered to walk to the kitchen and make coffee. But when it comes to exercise, it's a different thing. So take advantage of that easiness of walking and make it your habitual thing. And walking helps your posture. While sitting, sometimes your back is bent. But when you get up and walk, naturally, your back becomes straight. It depending on how you walk too. I do actually recommend Nordic walking for this. It really helps your spine become straight. Because of the pose, you kind of condition yourself to walk with your back straight. So after practicing Nordic walking for a while, you can condition yourself doing that. Then you walk, then you can walk with your back straight. So it's important to correct your posture first before walking. Okay, so the 7 benefits of walking, it produces serotonin. It is good for the brain. It is good for the gut microbiome. It is good for sleep. It slows down blood sugar spike. It is good for your blood circulation, and it is good for your posture. How about 6 benefits of walking according to me? Now, walking is the most basic movement. We have done this throughout our life. We have walked so many times, something we are so used to doing. It is very familiar. Anyone can walk. You don't need to train yourself or learn to walk. You know how to walk. Now, some people say that during the hunter and gatherer time, we did some running and because we had to escape from other animals and so on. That could be true, but I think we did a lot of walking even then too. Because during hunting, you don't run. You usually walk quietly so that your plays won't notice that you're approaching. And then when you get to the closest distance, you'd use spear or something to catch the animal. You wouldn't chase animals. Therefore, walking is the basic movement we have been doing throughout history, but not running. Running is done more for specific purposes, such as you need to hurry up somewhere. Because of that, walking is supposed to be a holistic exercise. It's all-round exercise. You use 2 legs. It's a great for your leg strength training, and it's a good cardio exercise. And then you have a you have a good posture, and you use your arms. So walking is a holistic exercise. Now, what about the strength training? So some people say it is not vigorous enough for strength training, which may be true, but you do use your legs. Especially if you walk for a long time. I mean, how many people get sore leg after walking for a long time? Why? It means because you use your muscles. And the fact that you have muscle ache means you did use your muscle. So it is a strength training. It's not true to say walking isn't strength training. Maybe it's not enough, but it is definitely strength training. And especially if you walk up the stairs, then it is a great strength training. And when you carry a bag or something, it adds weight and it can become better strength training. In fact, we often carry something while walking. When we go shopping or when we go traveling, we always carry a bag. So it's not like we always walk without carrying anything. Therefore, it can be strength training quite often. In fact, I recommend that you go shopping on foot. So you carry a backpack like that and then go to the supermarket. And then after buying, you put all your grocery in your backpack, then walk back home. That can become a great training. I do this with cycling. I usually go grocery shopping by bicycle because supermarket is a little too far for me to walk. But if you live not far away from the supermarket, then you can do the same thing with walking. You can go grocery shopping on foot. In fact, combination of cycling and walking is quite good because most people, it's kind of doable to do both cycling and walking. To go to near places, walk. But to go to slightly farther places, then use a bicycle. That's the best way, the combination of two. So you get to cycle a few times a week. And cycling is a great strength training, great leg strength training. It's good for the quadriceps, this front thigh muscle, and glutes, that's a hip muscle, and then hamstring, that's at the back of your thigh. So it is just like doing squat. So I think cycling has a similar effect to squat. And if you cycle uphill, it is even more. So it's good. I do recommend combining walking and cycling in your daily routine. And then sometimes you can jog. There are a method called walk jog where you alternate jogging and walking, but I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about when you walk, just a little bit of a time, you can jog for like 1 minute or something. Like, for example, if you go for a walk for about an hour, during that walk, maybe you just run for 1 minute, like 3 times. Yeah, only 3 times, not often. Mostly you're walking, but just having a little bit of extra jogging makes it more strenuous. And it is weight bearing exercise. Not as much as jogging, but still it is a weight bearing exercise. It's better than not doing. And again, if you don't think it is enough, you can always add extra, such as do jumping. I usually do this kind of jumping after walking or after jogging, and you can do the same. You can do that, maybe before walking or after walking, or just during your walk, you can just stop and then just jump, a few times, and that can add your extra weight bearing exercise. And walking can be an art. The great thing about walking is it doesn't have to be a workout. It's something fun that you can enjoy doing it. Now, I told you about this book before, French Women Don't Get Fat. It was written by Marielle Giuliano. And she says French women don't jog, but they walk. They enjoy leisurely walk. This fun aspect is very important because it's not an exercise. Therefore, you can make it part of your daily life. It's much easier to incorporate this into your daily life because who doesn't want to do something you can enjoy doing? Walking is artistic. When you go country walking, there are so many visual stimulus, such as, country house or some trees, river, mountains, and you can really enjoy the walk. It's not for the sake of exercise. You just enjoy the moment. You kind of observe the beauty and experience the beauty. And you can even have a great conversation with your family member or friend. You can have a conversation while jogging too, but it's different. When you have a conversation during jogging, you can, but its a main focus is more like a jogging. Conversation is sort of secondary. While during walking, the conversation can become main. You can talk about all kind of things. You can even have a meeting while walking too. And city walk too. It has so many stimuli, like a cafe, the music from the restaurant, or even people walking around, their clothes, their fashion. It's so exciting to watch other people and things happening on the street. It is mentally stimulating and artistically stimulating. It's a great brain and artistic activity to just walk around, especially when you go traveling. And because when you go traveling, you get to walk a lot. You usually use a public transportation, therefore you walk a lot. And you also carry a bag too. And so it becomes like rocking. The great thing about walking is that it has another purpose than just exercise. While other exercises such as jogging, strength training, HIIT, the main purpose is the exercise. But for walk, you can just enjoy everything. You can, visit a new place or enjoy the scenery or have a conversation with people and so on. And you don't have to travel abroad. You can travel in your own country. You can even just go to your neighboring towns and discover something new, because there must be lots of places you have not been to or you've been to, but haven't really seen well. And then just go to your neighboring towns and explore the town. You can do the same thing about your neighborhood. Explore a new neighborhood and then discover something new. And that is mentally stimulating. It's good for the brain and it's an artistic experience too. And walking is inactivity, not young activity, yin and yang. Vigorous exercise are more like young activity, but walking is in, which is, I think, more suitable for aging wisely, for seniors, walking is more suitable because there are type of activities that are suitable for certain ages. For example, when you listen to music, when you're young, you might enjoy rock music or some kind of very loud music. But when you get older, you don't enjoy that. You enjoy more classical or jazz, that kind of thing. And the same thing with exercise too. You don't need to imitate young people. You don't, some people are fighting against aging. They're trying to maintain the same activity that you did when you were younger. But do we need to do that? There may be more suitable exercises for our age. The reason why we are aging, the reason why our physical functions are in a decline, because maybe we're supposed to experience something unique to that situation. Like the season too. When the autumn comes, you go inward. You're not as active at the summertime. And autumn has a precious time to go inward and experience more inner side of yourself. And walking is a perfect way to reflect upon your life and kind of think about your ponder about your life in general. So you kind of develop your spirituality in that sense. To age wisely, you want to become more spiritual, and there are certain exercises which are suitable for that. You don't need to always continue doing the vigorous exercise like strength training, head, and everything, just like to maintain your youth. But instead, you age wisely. You age kind of healthily in a way that is appropriate to your age. I mean, of course, I mean, you can always do HIIT and other thing if you're active enough, but you don't have to do it. All I'm saying is you don't have to imitate young people. You don't have to fight against aging. You can accept this aging process and then find an exercise that is appropriate to that process. And you can walk barefoot too. I don't encourage you to walk barefoot outside because it can be dangerous, but you can do that indoor. In Japan, we don't wear shoes inside the house. And I usually stay barefoot most seasons from spring to autumn. In the winter time, I wear tall socks. But usually I stay barefoot and it's great because you can have your toes open. Your toes are wide and open, which are rarely done in the West because you're always wearing shoes, even inside the house. So at least while you're in the house, it is good to make a custom that you take your shoes off and relax your toes. And then you walk inside the house a lot. And then while you walk, you can pay attention to your toes, whether toes are wide open or not. Feel the feet touching the floor, touching the carpet, and so on. This is a great experience. So I encourage you to walk inside the house with barefoot as much as possible. This is a great walking benefit. So these are the 6 benefits of walking that I think are beneficial for you, especially if you are over 60. And now I will share with you my walking routes. But before that, for details of walking, please read chapter 5, the ideal exercise to increase health span, and chapter 8, how to optimize your brain. I write about the benefit of walking to your brain here too. So this is one of my walking routes. I usually go jogging here, but sometimes I go Nordic walking here. It is just right season now because rice is almost ready to be harvested. You can see all those rice ears. So the late August or the beginning of September is harvesting season for rice, and it's one of the best season to walk around here because you see all golden colored rice ears. It's so beautiful. In the spring, everything is green, and the summer too. But then autumn, finally, the rice becomes yellow and golden. It's so nice to look at all those natural scenery. Well, that part rice has already been harvested in this rice paddy. And then you see another rice paddy ahead. So half of the rice is being harvested there, but the one in the center is still there. So I'm sure the farmers will harvest the rest sometime within the next few days. So this is Monday, actually. So most people did their harvesting on the weekend, the day before. And next field is a soybean field. So one of the benefits of Satoyama walking is you get to see all those different plants growing. So you understand the food production. You become aware of the food production system. When certain plants grow and when it's ready to harvest and so on. So you become more aware of the natural process. So this is Machinami walk. Machinami means townscape. Hino town has a beautiful townscape because it is famous for Omi Hino merchant, and there are many houses which used to belong to Omi Hino merchants. Very old Japanese houses, just like Machiya in Kyoto. In fact, in many ways, the architecture in Shiga is similar to the one in Kyoto because Shiga is next to Kyoto Prefecture. We have a similar tradition when it comes to the architecture, furniture, clothes like kimono and everything. So instead of going to Kyoto, which is packed by tourists, it's so much better to come to Shiga. Then you find a similar traditional culture without many tourists. You can enjoy the walk and take pictures and stop and even talk to some local people and so on. So I recommend coming to Hino town for that sense too. It's a beautiful place to walk around. I'm in a little alley, and there's some beautiful cafes and things around here too. And that is Kura, Japanese old warehouse. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Again, my name is Sachiaki Takamiya, the author of Live Wiser, Not Smarter. If you like this video, please give me your thumb up and subscribe to my channel. And please leave your comment. What do you think about walking? What are the benefits of walking you can think of? Thank you. Well, I will see you in the next video. Live with your Ikigai!